So I often get lots of questions within the Discord community about how to create a dieline box packaging. So in this video, we're going to do a full box dieline packaging setup. We'll just focus on the modeling and creating the armature and also just getting the materials onto the box. I'm not going to go through rendering, maybe in a future video. So basically this is just a box and we create an armature for it, which we can control, and we can constrain the rotation and all sorts of things to this box. So all we're going is pressing R to rotate this, and we're getting something like this, and you'll see that we can open the box like this. So we rotate it, rotate like so, and we can control this box, which is pretty cool. You will be able to download this project file in the description below. Let's jump in. So what I'll do is a new Blender scene. But before we do that, let me just tell you that if you want to learn how to use Blender for product rendering professionally, then you should grab our course, Master Product Visualization, which has over 3,000 plus students and will teach you everything you need to know from packaging to modeling to lighting and doing product animations inside of Blender. You'll learn all the tricks and tips while working with real-world examples, allowing you to build your own portfolio. So by the end of the course, you'll be able to create your own professional renders that are the next level above everyone else. So go ahead and grab the course. The link is in the video description and in the pinned comment under the video. Let's jump back in. We're going to go straight to the top view here. Open up our outliner here. We'll just call this one box. This is where we're going to model our box in. I'll just create a few more collections. Lights, cameras. You can have this set up by default if you would like, just by saving a default blend startup file. And so every time you open a new blend file, like you go like this, new general, it will have preset boxes here and settings. For now, I've just got it like this. So I'm going to go Shift A, add a plane. This is what we're going to work with. Then I'll go Shift A and add a reference image. And I'll show you in a second why I do it like this instead of adding an image as plane. Let's go find our reference image. You will be able to use this reference image. If I can find it, everything is the wrong way around. So we've got die lines here, box die lines. We can add here. And you'll notice that this image is quite big. So we'll just scale this one down. And if you just hold down Control, it's going to snap to... It should snap to the grid here, but I'll just change it. So I just go, let's snap to edge. So we'll scale, snap to edge. And I'll just preview this to make sure it's wireframe preview, just to make sure it's dead on the center here. We can go back to solid view, rename this to reference. We're going to go down to our reference settings here. We'll press front, so it always is in the front. And we can move this down below and it will always appear in front. We'll turn on the opacity, change that to 0.5. That's half the opacity. We'll turn off perspective, which means that if I rotate around, it won't show. But if I go tilde and to the top, or press 7 on my keyboard, it will show the reference up the top. So then we'll call this one die lines, or we could actually just call that box. And I would give it the name of the box, which I think it's Senka T. I'll just call it Senka. And that's just in case you put it in another file. If you put it in another file, you can just find it easy and you know what it is. All right, so I'll just give you a quick example just by hiding these two. Shift A, we'll put in a mesh plane. You don't have to follow in this case. I just want to show you what happens if we start working. Let's go back. If we import an image as plane, and why I don't do it. So we'll add in the die lines here. We'll tab into edit mode. If we go up here, we can toggle on the texture in the viewport shading. That'll allow us to see the die lines. So to actually create a mesh, we need to use loop cuts. So we'll go Control R, add a loop cut. Let's go across here. And I can drag this loop cut in, right? But what happens is if I go G and Y and move this loop cut, it moves all my mesh, all my UVs as well. So it's moving the design with it. And what you'll notice is it's actually stretching the design. And it does work if I go GG and move it. But in this case, I just want to work without that trouble. So I just delete it and I work with this way. So what I then do is I go up to my filters, turn on this filter here. This is my selection filter. So I can just say, don't allow me to select the reference in the viewport here. So I can never select the reference. I can only select the box here. So then we just get started in modeling. So tab, Control R is a loop cut. And we'll just start maybe by giving a loop cut on the vertical here. And I want this to be very accurate. So we're going to add a loop cut and then I'm zooming in and then GX to move this. And X is the X axis. So moving it horizontal. I'm getting it dead center. And then these are all the same size. So we just go Control R and you've got to go to the edge that you want to add the loop, or the adjacent edge here. So you can see here I can go Control R, push the scroll up to 3 cuts. We can click and then we right click to cut in the center here. Then I'm just going to add cuts as we go here. So Control R, let's add a cut here. We'll go in and make sure this is in place. You can either go GG, which will edge slide it, or you can go G and Y to go on the Y axis up and down here. Control R, we'll go here. I'm just zooming in GG, we'll go down. Control R, let's add it to the bottom here, bring it up a little bit. GG, bring it down there. We'll add another one in, Control R. I'm going to add it in the bottom here. If I can remember how I did it, I'll try and do it the same way. Add a loop to the end of there, which that's good. Then we're just going to do it up the top here. Slide a loop down there, GG. Slide it. And then we'll add some up here. And we'll fix this soon and do this cut here as we go on. Then I'm going to go here. Next one, I'm going to use the knife tool, which is down. Is that the knife tool? No, this here is the knife tool. I'm going to just use all shortcuts. So K is the shortcut to bring up the knife tool. And what the knife tool does is if we scroll in, what we can do is just snap to the side here, click, and then we can start drawing our design here. We can move up here. And what I'm going to do is I want to end the cut here. And so instead of applying the cut, that would get rid of my knife tool. I'm just going to right click and that will just allow me to continue on somewhere else. So now I can click here and I can go down like so. Click here, right click. We're good to go. And we'll just zoom in to make sure it's all lining up. Right click to actually disconnect the cut and start again somewhere else. Go down here. Right click, and I'm going to apply just the top just in case I make a mistake as I'm going down the bottom. So just press space to apply that. Then we press K again to bring up our knife tool again. Come down here, we'll go from the corner here, make sure it's snapping. And then we'll bring this down. Right click, let's move across. We're just left clicking to make the cut. I'm going to hide my side panel in a minute. Let's press space to apply that. Hide my side panel. Okay, bring up my knife tool once again. And obviously if you're proficient in Blender, you're going to move quite quickly. But if this is your first time using the knife tool, just take your time. Go like this and into the corner there, right click spacebar to apply the cuts. So there we go. Now I could start cutting this and do my little edge, but what I'm going to do first is actually go 3 for face select, and I'm just going to get rid of all the extra faces here that I don't need, that's outside the die. And I'm going to get rid of all of this. Leave these edges here, we'll bevel them in a second. Faces. Shift click these guys. Now we need to do the knife tool for this one. So all I'm going to do here is add in, let's say 3 loops. And then I'm just going to bevel this. We just want the center one. So we'll grab the full loop, alt click. And I'm just going to press Ctrl B, bevel it out to that edge. I'll just go to the edge of that round and just add in a few loops like this. And all I'm going to do is we need to sort of cut around. So what do I want to do here? We'll just cut it like this and we'll see what the subdivision does. Press space, we'll get rid of that. I think I might add in 2 more loop cuts. And just grab these 2 GG and slide them down. I know that is a bit more of a round. You could grab these 2 loops and go SX, scale them apart, and maybe that'll create the round that we want. Then we'll go K once more, cut there. You can go over the line here and it will just cut to the edge there. And we'll do the same down here, K, go over the line, just line it up. Spacebar, and get rid of that. Faces. Now what I'm going to do with the knife tool is I'm going to hide my reference here. And I'm going to actually turn everything back into good topology. So all I'm going to do is go K. And I should explain what's going on here. So we click snap it to the vertice here. As we go along here, I just want to press A. And that will snap to a 45-degree angle. And then I can click straight through and it will send a cut through there. I can right click and keep doing that. So that's all we're doing. So every edge here, just want to right click. Every edge we're just going to cut through. So I'll go again, right click to disconnect it. We left click on the corner that we want to cut. We go across past the end, left click, right click to disconnect, then left click, and the snapping is still set on. And then we can do the last one over here, right click to get to separate it from what we had. You can also look at the shortcuts here if you're having trouble following along. And then we can press space. And what I'm going to do is select all these, and maybe I'll show you what will happen first. So let's tab out. Let's get rid of this guy up here. I know that's not meant to be. and I'll show you the reference again. So we'll need to bevel that up there. And so what I'll do is maybe add in 3 loop cuts here before I bevel it. And I want to add in a loop cut just below the curve on both of them, just to protect the geometry a little bit and give me a bit more room in here. So I can add in more loops here. Because what happens, I'll show you for a second. If I bevel this with a Control B, then V to bevel it, and I go like this, and bevel, and then I go Control R, you can see that my loop cut is broken, so I can't cut all the way through. So I'm just protecting some of this so I can cut all the way through. As you can see, if I add a loop cut, it's only going to a certain point, because this isn't a quad anymore. So I'm going to undo that, and I'll do those in a second. What I want to do first is add a subdivision on. Quick way is you can add it through the modifiers, but if you tab out into object mode, you can just go Control 1 or Control 2, and that will add a 2 levels of subdivision, or Control 1 is 1 level of viewport subdivision. We'll go Control 2, and this is where we can start working a little bit. Now I'm not going to worry about these corners too much just yet. We'll fix that in a second. And maybe what we do is we add our, let's go into edit mode, grab these 2 here, and we'll do them all at the same time because they'll be the same radius or curve or whatever. Control B, then V to bevel a vertice, and we'll just do down the bottom, where does it show you? Up the top here, just under the edit mode, the part where you switch between edit mode, it says the segments. I'm going to go 3 or 4 segments here, and I'm just looking for the curve, and if you can see under it, there's a subdivision surface going on. I just want to match the subdivision surface to the curve here. And what I could do here is grab these 2, scale X, pull them out a little bit, just to preserve the curve. And we'll have a look up here. Anyway, both of them are looking pretty good. And what I want to do here, let's hide my reference for now. Tab, we'll go 1, and I'm just going to cut right across. So, okay, right across, and maybe this one will be the one that I go down with. So let's go Control R, Control R. We'll go K, base, K, base, and we'll do something like that. And then we will do the same here. And let's have a look. Okay, let's connect these 2, press space to apply it. Control R, Control R. You can just select these 2 and press J, that will join them like that instead of using the knife tool. And then we have this. Now, what we need to do next is preserve these edges here. So I want this to be quite sharp, like in here, on all the sides. So what I'll do is just press 2. We'll select all these loops. Select those loops. 2 is just edge select. Select all those loops. We'll scroll in to one of them to have a look. We'll go Control B to bevel. And we'll minus here. So we'll go 2 segments so that 1 loop stays in the center. Then I'm going to press A. If we look up at where our segments are, you can see top left, there's a profile shape here. I'm going to press A, and I'm just going to move my mouse, which is actually offset. So P is profile shape. We want that 1. Then I can press A to continue editing the size here. So we'll just adjust this and we'll go something like that. All right, that looks good. Now we want to add loops all the way around here. So let's first add a loop here. Control R. We'll bring it in nice and close. Control R. And you see what's happening with the subdivision. It's pulling it all in. So then we'll add in a few loops across the center, which maybe I just go Control R, right click, S, Y, scale that so that I've got a straight center line here, which isn't in the center at the moment, just because because of this it's creating an off center. So I can just undo that, press the period key. If I hold down that, it toggles my snap to, or the pivot point, and I'll change that to the 3D cursor, which is this guy here. I'll S and Y, 0, and that'll keep me on the origin, as in the center. Then I'll change this back to the median by just hitting the period key, moving my mouse to the median. And then I'll do this. I'll press E for even. Let's undo that actually. Control R, let's add in 2 more. Right click, let's have a look in here. I'll go even. That one's not going to do even. That's alright. I'll put these 2 in. We can redo that one. Alt click to select the loop, shift, Control X to dissolve the selection. Then Control R we'll try this again with even. There we go. Right, I'll just add one in here. This is going to be the same, where I just go S, X, 0. I'm not worried about them being in the center this time. Alright, now let's add a loop here, Control R. We'll drag that up. Let's alt click this loop. And what happens if I go Control B? Nah. Let's just go Control R and we'll add a loop in there. We'll add a loop here, apply that. Control R, add a loop there. Control R, we'll pull a loop down here. Then we'll add one along the top here. And we can just adjust this if we wanted. I'm just going to scale that one on the X. And scale those on the X. And these a little bit. And it's not really a smooth circle. I'm just thinking, what can I do? Not really sure. Loop tools, curve. Didn't know that was a thing. Relax maybe. Relax has fixed it a little bit. I could do it here. Control, click, right click, and relax. Let's fix the curve a little bit. You could work on it a lot more. Alright. Control R, add a loop cut here. Control R, we'll add a loop to this edge and we'll add one down there. So we're just adding loops on every side to reinforce all the edges. Oops. Control R, where's this? Add one there. Control R, we'll bring that down. We're fixing that edge there. Bring this one, Control R. And I'm just going to add loops to the center. I don't need to actually with, just because subdivision will work anyway. Bring that up. reinforce every edge that we can find. Where's that going? So what will we do with that? We might use, we need an edge here. So maybe if I go like this, select those two. And what we'll do is we'll just go SX, scale them, SX, scale them, and that can be my reinforcing edge there. So it just goes like that. And I'm not obviously worried about this here. I actually do know what I did last time, so we'll go Control X. We'll join these J, J, J. We'll select those. I don't have an edge loop on that one yet. So what I could do is actually we'll undo that and I'll show you what I did last time. So we'll keep that. We have that. Put this one back. Go down here. Add then our last loop here. And one here. So that's pretty much it for the modeling. So what I want to do now is just create those cuts. So this is where I'll fix those edge loops here. So we've got a cut here, like so. So what I'm going to do is I'll grab this edge here. Let's actually grab all of that. Control X, Shift X, 2. And then we'll grab that edge, and Control X will dissolve it. Now we'll just create this edge here. So let's see how I can do this. Maybe we add in our loop here. I'll go to G, Y. We'll move it down like so. Let's add in another loop here. I'll just go G and drag that one to there. GX. We'll move that. So I've added 2 loops. We'll go GG, move that one across. We'll grab this, GY, move that down, then GX, move that across. And what I'm actually going to do is rip it so that I'll grab these, Control X, grab that, Control X. I'll grab you, Control X. You're just going to select the first one, then Control click the last one. It'll select the shortest path. Control X. Then you're just going to go to, grab that, press V. It should rip those two together apart. But I've got something wrong. Let's put this back to how it was, and we'll try V ripping it now. So let's rip it before. V, rip. And then we want to separate these, so GY. Like so. GY. Let's grab on this side, GY. Separate. I think what I did was pull these right back last time. Added quite a gap. Now I can go Control R and add in that edge loop there. Control R, add in that edge loop. I can go Control R and bring one in here. And I'm going to do one here as well. And then I'm going to get rid of these. Control X. And the reason I'm doing that is because that will affect the curve of our shape here. And this is terrible, but I'm just going to leave it for now. You could fix it, but I'm alright with it. I'll leave it. I have to do it up here as well. I'm just wondering if there's better ways to do it. Anyway, we'll do it the way we did it. V to rip, and we'll just drag this guy down. Add in a loop cut there, and we'll grab we want to add in a loop cut there. We'll just pull these across, fix it up a little bit. 2, so let's select this guy. 2. And then we've got this. So we'll take that up. Add in 2. Did I GG to bring that up? I pulled it out by accident. Add in 2 loop cuts, Control R twice. Then we'll grab this again. Move this up and drag that one across like so. And now I want to bring these 2 down close to there. Bring that one across like so. And I could just actually just bring those back. I could say this one M at last, and I'll just create a pole there. And that wouldn't really matter. I wouldn't really need it actually, but let's grab this and just get rid of it. Control X, J, and then go Control R. We need to rip this, so V, G, Y to move it down, Control R, E, G to add that in, then we'll add in this. Like so. Now that doesn't look, that looks good. Alright, so that is the modeling complete. So what we're going to do now is we'll add in our armature. So all you're going to do with the armature is I'll turn on wireframe view here. So we'll go to the top wireframe view, so we can see the wireframe of our shape. And then we want to add our armature, and we'll just pick a side. So I'm going to add my armature to the center here. And this is actually my back piece. And this is my front here because of the tab. And so I'll add my armature here. I'm going to turn off the subdivision view on both the viewport and edit mode for this sake. Then this point down here, tab 1, Shift S to move my cursor to selected, and I'll go Shift A, let's tab out into the object mode, Shift A, then we'll add in an armature. Now I can go tab to edit mode, G, and I can control click to snap this. So what I'm going to do is change my snapping options to vertice, and that will be good to go. So G, control click, and now we can extrude from these. And so I'm just going to turn on X-ray so you can see where the points are going. We're going to the center loop of the edge. So E, go to this edge here, like so. Then E will go to the outside edge. Then once we have passed through the face that has the tabs, instead of going from here and extruding, what we're going to do is go, let's undo that, extrude from the outside. And I'll show you here. Let's go just grab this ball here, go control click to snap it, and then control click to snap it down there. Then we'll grab this guy, we'll go straight up to the top, and then we'll go to the center point here between the two loops, and then straight to the top there. Then we'll go the other way, control click to make sure it's going to the center line between the three. Then we'll go control click. Then once we've passed over the face, we'll go back. And the reason for this is if I extrude it from this point is part of this armature, which means if I rotate this guy, and it'll rotate these two tabs without the center because it's got its own armature. And if I rotate this armature, it's disconnected to these two tabs because those stem from here. So I'm going over the face, then going back. Control click to the top here. Let's control click to there. I've also got a loop to add in there. Then we'll go control click to the bottom. We'll go across this face, straight across to the center here. Check it's on the center. That doesn't look like it's there. Can't see properly because of the grid. Control click. Then to that edge. And then we'll come from this one back. And we'll try and find the center here. It looks it's a bit hard, but control click. Alright, so that's our armature. So we can tab out and have a look at it. Select our box here. We want to control click this and go back. Alright, so now that we have this, we want to go 3. Let's go back to out of this mode here. And we want to select all the vertices that are to do with each face. Let's go here. Let's select all the center here. And what you notice is this edge isn't selected. I need to select these. So I just go Control plus to include them. Go down to my object data properties. I think this is object data properties. Anyway, it's got vertices in here, the vertice groups. I'm just going to add a new vertice group and call this one back. Remember that you have to remember these names because we're going to actually rename the bones to the same names so that they get assigned to each other. So once you have that selection, each vertice, we can add a weight of 1 by assigning it to the group. So hit assign. We'll add it to the group. And then I'm going to go over here. And what I'm going to do is select all the vertices that are within. So what we can do is select this corner here. You'll see here. Then we want to come down here, control click to this corner. Sorry, let's redo that. Select this corner just by left clicking, come down to the bottom, control shift click this corner, and it will pick the shortest path while filling the region. So I'll just select a big square. Let's press 1, have a look at the vertices that we have selected. Now I want you to deselect the vertices that are already in a vertex group because we don't want to affect them when we're rotating. So if we look at where the joint is here, we only really need to rotate what is beyond that. The actual vertice itself that is on the joint doesn't need to be rotated. That will be controlled by the one previous. So what we can do is just alt click. Let's undo that. 2, go to 2, alt click. We can actually go alt control. No, Alt Shift click the loop. So what we want to do, and maybe the easier way is, because I don't think it's going to, Alt Shift click in vertice select mode. And then we'll add a new group, rename this one, and this will be the right side, because when the box is folded, it's going to be on the right side, which is a little bit confusing. Then we'll assign and just deselect it, then press select to check that you have that assigned properly. So what you're going to do is just continue on, and so we'll just select beyond that, deselect those two, add a new group. I call this right side bottom, like so. We'll hit assign, deselect, select to check it. And I'm going to speed through this so that you don't have to watch all this. So all it is just adding a new group, right side underscore top, and then assigning the vertices beyond what it was selected. So for here example, we'll just go 3, we'll select that little face up in the corner there, and then I'll control shift click the bottom face, we'll go 1, and we'll alt shift click to deselect that loop because it's already assigned to the other group. Double click and we'll rename this to, let's just call it top. And then of course we'll go 3, control click, control shift click. Got a few issues in here, so we could actually fix these, but I'm not too bothered by it. That a new one. This one can be top underscore tab. And I'm just going to speed this up from now on. Alright, so that's everything assigned. We're going to select the armature go in, and we're just going to select a handful, select a handful of these bones and just delete them. So I'll just select these, delete those bones. Let's do this one at a time. These don't seem to be attached. I'll leave those ones for now. I did this a slightly different way. So we're just going to deselect the joining ones there. Then I want to go through and rename all the bones. So the way we can do that is you can select them and you have a bone name down here, but I want to show my bone name. So we'll go to viewport display, then you're just going to go show the names just in your armature options here. And then we got to rename them. So we'll rename this one to, I think we have to do it down here. So rename this one to the same name that the side is on. So this is my back. This will be my right underscore side. You can take a screenshot of the names that you created too. This will be my right underscore side top. I'll just control C to select this one. This will be right side bottom. This one will be top. This bone will be top underscore tab. This one will be the side. Copy this. Left side underscore top. Left side underscore bottom. This will be my front. This will be the glue tab. Make sure your spelling's correct and the same as what you had, as in your vertice groups need to align. And this will be bottom or tab. So now what you can see is if I select this and I go to pose mode and I rotate these, you'll see what is happening. Now I don't want these to rotate at all. I just want them to stay still. So what I can do is select these, each one, and just lock all the rotation. So now it doesn't rotate. But if I rotate the arm before it or after it, it rotates. And for some reason, I would just delete these, but for some reason, it's not connecting. If we go to edit mode and delete these, for some reason, it's not connecting. And I don't know if still, so it is connected. I just can't see it. So we'll get rid of them. So they're connected as long as they are. Edit mode. Yeah, they're connected. So that's good to go. Now we're just going to select our box, then select our armature and go Control P. And we want to armature deform with empty groups. And this should be good to go straight away. So let's go up into object mode, down into pose mode, and we'll try rotating some of these. So we'll rotate this one. Let's see, have a look. So we want to rotate this. We're on the top, so rotate on the y-axis so we can start folding this. We want to just check that everything is okay. So you see here when I rotate this, it's including some stuff up here. So let's go Control Z. Let's go into object mode. Select my base here, tab, and then we know it's the left side group. So let's go down to our vertices here. Let's go for the left side. We'll select it and just have a look at what's going on here. So nothing really that I can see. But I'm not too fussed maybe about that. Just because I'm only going to be rotating in a certain direction. So let's go back to the armature, go to pose mode. And what I'm going to do now is this first one, I just want to make sure that that one can be rotated in any direction. Now let's go to our bone here. And what we want to do is just select our right side. We'll go R. And I'm going to switch the rotation mode to just XYZ Euler, which is just the same as this guy here. Then I'm just going to lock the Y and the Z axes, so I can only rotate it on the X. So if I just press R, I can only rotate it on the X here. And so we're going to do that for every single one. So we'll switch it to Euler, lock the other two, X, Y and Z, lock those two just by dragging across them. And every single bone that we do will be the same. Lock those two, grab this guy, lock them. Lock. So some of this can be a bit tedious. I probably should have switched it right at the start, and that would have switched it all. And there's probably honestly a setting somewhere that would just switch all the bones in one go, but I don't know it. So now we can start rotating this into position. So let's rotate this back, R90. And this is going every direction. So R, X, 90. And now our box is facing up. And then we're just going to start rotating this. So we'll get this one, R90, negative. We need to just type it in, I think. 90, let's go negative 90. We will rotate this guy we'll do this one manually because we do want him below, as in we want him folded, tucked in a little bit. Then we'll grab this one, top. I'm going to just leave the top up a little bit, and then I'll rotate this one, and that will go below. You can scale these too. You can press S and scale them. You can, we could lock the scale to the Z axis, which in this case isn't working because that's vertical. We'll just scale it like this. Like so. Rotate that. Negative 90. Grab that, rotate that one in. We can go around and have a look at it. Tuck it in a little bit. Rotate that. We'll rotate the front by negative 90. Then we'll rotate this tab. Let's rotate the tab by negative 90 as well. Negative 90. Then we're just going to grab this right side and rotate it so it's slightly sticking out. It's just ever so slightly sticking out of our edge here. Then rotate the bottom, negative 90. And then we'll rotate this tab also in so it's under. So that's our box. We'll get out of pose mode here. We'll grab the box. I'm going to turn off wireframe just because it's so messy. I'm going to grab the armature and I'm going to go to the armature settings here, viewport display, change it from a stick octahedral to stick. So that's just really nice and clean here. You can also turn on the axis, which shows the direction of each bone if you'd like. I'm just keeping it the same here. Then come into your settings here. We'll fill these two up. We'll add a solidify modifier. I'm going to stick this above it. Let's hide our armature. And we just want to make sure that this is going the right direction. So we'll go to front view. It's going below, so we'll just change this to 1.001 thickness, maybe a bit more. So let's go something like 3. We'll stick it on top of the subdivision. Hide those two, maybe switched around. Right click shade smooth. And then we'll turn on this. Now what I want to do is adjust the armature. So let's select it. Got to change it back to the octahedral so I can actually see. We'll go to pose mode here. Tuck that tab in. That's all in. That's good. That edge is in. Now this is likely lifting out. If we find which edge that is, that's left side. Between the left side and back here. So left side and back. If we find that it's bulging, it could be just the fact that, let's turn off our solidify for this. It could be the fact that we need to actually add this loop in to this loop back into it. So let's assign it to the left side tab. Hasn't really changed much. You could also add more detail, like if you just add more loops, I'm pretty sure it'd fix it. See there? It's creating more resolution for it. So it's helping getting rid of some of those edges. And subdivision isn't liking that top edge there. So maybe a simple solution is just to put, and I know why, it's this edge here. It doesn't like this fold that we have here. So I could add in some loops here. Tab, we'll have a look at it now. And that has definitely helped it. But we still got, I don't know which side I did that on. We'll do it here as well. Yeah, you'd need to fix up the topology on this to make it work. Which that actually looks like it's just on one side. I think it's here. I think there's a duplicate edge somewhere. There. To see. Oh no. Where are you? You over here. Let's just select all of this. A, press M. Merge by distance. That didn't get rid of it. It's just this edge here. Something's wrong. And the bottom is fine. It's just the top, which is the top here. What side are we on? Top, left side. There's left side's here. There's something to do with this. Something wrong in here. Or just after it. And that's the same one that the left side seems to be rotating incorrectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove that strip. Oops. I just want to grab that group. Hang on. Remove from it. Okay, that fixed it. No, it didn't. I don't know what that is. I need to find out. See, there's no issue when we're like this. So I can't actually diagnose it. The only thing is adding in more loops, maybe. I don't even know if I'm working on the right side anymore. Might be this guy. I'm not sure what's happening here. A, Shift N, recalculate normals. No. Must be here though. I'm gonna just pause it and I'll find the issue. So here's the issue, is I accidentally select this loop. Yeah, so there's a bit of a loop selected as far as the top side. So I'm just going to select along here, left side top, and remove it. I'm just going to go in here as well, remove that, so that when I select, oops, undo, Control Z. When I select this edge, select, it only selects that. And there we go. That's right, isn't it? Can't tell anymore. Alright, yeah, that's good. So that's why you got to be careful what group you select. So that's pretty much it for that. What I'm going to quickly do is just show you how to get your materials in. So let's just add a material. We'll go to material preview here. Maybe it's easier in the UV editing, but there shouldn't be any UV editing really if you've modeled it correctly. So let's add in an image texture. I'll give you these. You can download these for free. Box color. And all this is just a box, like so. Plug that straight in, Control T, plug that out to the BSDF. And you've obviously got a problem here. So we're going to need to UV unwrap this. There's weird stuff going on. So let's go select our box, tab A, select. We'll go top view, U, and then project from view. And then all I'm going to do is scale this one up. Let's go UV constrained to image bounds, which means it won't go beyond this. So scale till it hits it. And I'm just going to put it in place, which let's make it the full length. Change to 2D cursor scale so it's the biggest it needs to be. EY. Put that up to there. Layout. Oops. Modeling is it? Tab. And that's our box all done. And you can actually texture this. If you don't want the bones to be in place, hide them. But now you can actually just, if you go into pose mode for your bones, you can actually rotate all this. And you could animate it if you would like, do anything. And then your back is the spine of the box, so move it by the back here. And you could actually add in an empty if you wanted to as well, where the back is assigned to that. But that's where we control the box from. Maybe I do a bit of a bonus, super long tutorial, but I'm sure that you guys won't mind. So one last thing is I'll just switch it to rendered view. I'll turn off the world scene so I can actually see what the box is looking like. Turn off the viewport overlays. We will get out of pose mode into object mode, select the box. And all I'm going to do is just add in a magic texture. So we have this guy. We'll press Control T. This will just generate it. Then I'll go to a bump here. Just click and drag out of these and then you can instantly search and it will instantly click. Connect, change the color to the height. Go normal to normal. We'll change it to about 0.5 I think. And then I'm going to put my scale at like 120. So then you get this texture. Then you can just reduce the roughness down quite a bit. And then you get this interesting sort of cardboard box effect here. Another little secret, which I won't actually show you how to do this, but if you get a paper fold and turn it into a bump, you can then place it on the die line here where the folds are. Change this to non-color. And then we can stick it over here. I'm going to go and add another subdivision. Down here, drop the render to 1:1, turn on adaptive as long as you got experimental. Then down here we'll go Control T. We'll go into a displacement and plug the displacement in there. And now what you can see is you're getting the worn effect on the box. And you can adjust this at 0.005 if you don't want it as much. But you're getting that bending effect, and you could play around with the type of texture that'll do this for you. But I think that's pretty cool. So that's just a quick box texture ready for you to go. Alright, that's it for this tutorial. Super long one. Hopefully you found it useful. Make sure to check out my course if you're interested in learning product visualization professionally and learning a ton more tips and tricks, especially with lighting, a ton on modeling, heaps of other tricks that I've got up my sleeve, which I teach in the course, as well as the community, which you can join and get questions answered pretty much any time. So I'm on pretty much every day in the Discord answering questions, and I'm happy to help out. All right, I'll see you in the next one.